Welcome. You're tuned into Tangled Threads. If you're digging our content, hit the like button and subscribe. Thank you. All right, let me take you through a bit of a wild ride. My name's Cameron, and if you had told me a couple of weeks back that my life would play out like some twisted movie plot, I would have laughed. But here we are. It all started on what I thought was going to be a chill Saturday at home with my wife, Lisa. We were just lounging around, enjoying some drinks. Me with my beer, and Lisa with her white wine, her favorite. We were having a good time, chatting about everything under the sun. But as the night wore on and we got a bit more into our cups, the mood shifted. We stumbled into an argument, something trivial about how much time we spend together. It escalated quickly, and before I knew it, Lisa had stormed out. At first, I thought she just needed to cool off, that she'd be back in no time. But as the minutes turned into hours with no sign of her and my texts went unanswered, I started to worry. That's when I noticed something odd. I stepped outside, hoping maybe I'd spot her nearby, and that's when I saw Tom, our neighbor, mowing his lawn shirtless. Now, under normal circumstances, I wouldn't think twice about it. But earlier, I had caught Lisa glancing out the window at Tom a few times more than what would be considered casual. I brushed it off then, but now, with Lisa missing and Tom conveniently mowing his lawn at dusk, things started to click. I tried to push those thoughts to the back of my mind and focus on finding Lisa. After a fruitless search around the neighborhood, I returned home, more puzzled and worried than ever. That's when Lisa showed up, looking a bit flustered and making some excuse about needing to clear her head. Something about her demeanor just didn't add up. So, I did what anyone would do. I started piecing things together. I remembered the odd timing of Tom mowing his lawn, Lisa's glances earlier in the day, and her current state of fluster. It wasn't the first time something like this has happened. This was just the first time it was so noticeable. It felt like I was putting together a puzzle I didn't want to see completed. I decided to confront Tom directly. I know it was risky with such little evidence, but his reaction was all the evidence I needed. There was guilt written all over his face. Walking over to Tom, who was still methodically pushing his lawnmower back and forth across his yard, I called out to him. He stopped the mower, wiping sweat from his brow as he turned to face me. There was a moment, just a split second, where his expression was a mix of surprise and something else. Guilt, maybe? It was fleeting, but unmistakable. "Hey, Tom," I started, trying to keep my voice even. "Have you seen Lisa? She's been gone for hours, and she's not answering her phone." Tom's reaction was off from the get-go. Instead of the straightforward concern you'd expect from a neighbor, his eyes darted away briefly before he met my gaze again. Lisa?" he echoed, a little too casually. No, I haven't seen her around. Maybe she went for a walk or something." But it was the way he said it, the slight hesitation, the too quick dismissal, that set off alarm bells in my head. His body language was all wrong too. He avoided direct eye contact, his answers were rushed, and there was a nervous energy about him that didn't sit right. Pushing a bit further, I watched his reaction closely. "It's just odd, you know. She left upset, and I can't help but worry. You're sure you didn't see her come this way?" This time, Tom's discomfort was palpable. He shuffled his feet, looking anywhere but at me, and his answer came a bit too swiftly. Yeah, sure. I mean, no, I haven't seen her. Sorry, man. Wish I could help." His response, so clearly dodging, only deepened my suspicion. It was as if he was putting on a performance, but the act was crumbling under the slightest scrutiny. His demeanor screamed that he was hiding something, and every instinct I had told me it involved Lisa. Thanking him with a nod, I turned to leave, my mind racing. Tom's weird reaction, coupled with the puzzle pieces I had been collecting all evening, formed a picture I couldn't ignore. It was the catalyst that drove me to confront the situation head-on, leading to the painful unraveling of the truth about Lisa's actions. That encounter with Tom was important, one that confirmed my worst fears without a word of confession. His bizarre behavior was all the evidence I needed to piece everything together, a glaring sign that the betrayal I was about to uncover ran deep, rooted right next door. Confronted with the evidence, Lisa finally broke down and admitted to everything. It was like a punch to the gut, realizing the extent of her betrayal. Confronting Lisa with what I had pieced together was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. She tried to deflect at first, but the facts were too damning. She had sought out Tom in a moment of anger and weakness, a decision that shattered the foundation of our marriage. We had a long, painful talk that night. Lisa was full of apologies and regrets, suggesting counseling, but the trust was broken. It was clear this wasn't just a simple mistake. It was a deliberate action that spoke volumes about where we stood. I couldn't see any way to repair the damage. The trust we had built over the years was gone in an instant, leaving nothing but a void. I made the difficult decision to end our marriage. It was a heart-wrenching conversation, filled with tears and pleas from Lisa, but my mind was made up. Looking back, it doesn't feel real, like I was a character in a detective story, piecing together clues of my wife's betrayal. It's a role I never wanted to play, but sometimes life doesn't give you a choice. Update. After everything went down with Lisa, settling into what's basically my new life has been a bit of a trip. The court decided I had to pay Lisa some alimony, which honestly felt like a bit of a low blow at first. It's not like we parted on good terms, and giving her money every month wasn't exactly what I had in mind for moving on. But, I'm starting to see it as just one of those things I've got to deal with. It's the last tie to something that's done and dusted, and paying it is like turning the page, slowly but surely. Then, out of nowhere, Emily came into my life. It was totally unexpected. We met through some friends, and she's been amazing. It's still pretty new, but it feels right. She's got this incredible way of making me look forward to tomorrow, She's understanding, doesn't push too hard, and just being around her makes things seem a bit brighter. It's nice to have someone to laugh with again, someone who gets that. I'm still picking up the pieces, and is okay with taking things one step at a time. Getting into something new with Emily while still closing out the chapter with Lisa, like the alimony stuff, has been kind of a balancing act. There are days when it feels a bit much, but then Emily will say or do something that just puts it all into perspective. She's helping me see that moving on doesn't mean forgetting. It means building something new on your own terms. And yeah, the whole alimony thing is a constant reminder of a past I'd rather leave behind, but it's also becoming less of a thorn in my side. It's just a part of the process, and Emily's been a huge support in helping me not get too hung up on it. We're focusing on what's ahead, not what's behind. Looking back, the mess with Lisa, the divorce, and everything that came with it feels like a lifetime ago. I'm learning to let go, to forgive, not for her sake, but for mine. And as for Lisa, I hope she finds whatever it is she's looking for. Right now, my eyes are on the future, and for the first time in a long while, it's looking pretty good. Here's to new starts, to Emily, and to whatever comes next. It's a journey, but I'm glad I'm not on it alone. Well, there's a half-decent ending for you there. Seems like these never end well. Anyways, let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. When you subscribe, be sure to click the notification bell. Click here for more Tangled threads.